the topic for this video really got me thinking about where I stand on some of these because they are definitely gray areas. The first one with the copies, I can have to say that there have been times that I've printed things out at work, in a hurry, even though it's not work related. There have been times I've asked permission, other times I've just done it. Run a copy here or there. I think for me, the breaking point was the number listed in this example. 60 copies of something, even assuming it's just one piece of paper, is a lot. 60 copies, assuming it's any more, is just an incredible use. And then I think, okay, well, is it color or is it black and white? As silly as it sounds, black and white, I might be okay with it, but color, definitely not. So based on the number and not knowing all the information, I would say I definitely wouldn't use that. I can't say, though, that I haven't used a copy here or there in the past. That one is definitely hurting the company's financial side because paper and ink are not cheap, and when it's used in an unnecessary way for the business, it's an expense that shouldn't be incurred. Trash bags was one for me that was a little bit funny because it's not something I would ever do, but my husband works in maintenance and always has the garbage bags in his truck from when he's cleaning out different units at an apartment complex. So yeah, there have been times that he's needed a garbage bag for something and gotten in the backseat of his truck and grabbed one. I think if you get in the habit of using them on a regular basis, that's when it becomes a problem in my mind. Here or there, one or two isn't going to hurt the bottom line. It is still going to cost money and it's still not right. But to me, the line becomes when it becomes a regular occurrence. As far as stealing time, this is something that I tend to be very aware of in my current job because I know the management side of paying people overtime and having the scheduled hours. And I have a really close friend who works in retail and tells me all the time about the scheduled hours she's given for her staff and how people are going over, and that's causing her to have to work over because she's salary. And so I see the people side of that one, and I see the toll it can take on people having to get rid of overtime by sending people home early or having to cover so that people don't have that overage. So to me, stealing time is something that it may here or there I might be looking at something for a minute that's not work related, but on the whole, I try to stay very on task with that. I think at all of these cases, it hurts the company's bottom line, obviously. It's all about expenses. Copies are an expense with paper and ink. Trash bags are an expense, maybe not a huge one, but over time it will add up. And as far as stealing time, I think that that adds up quickly. Now, if you're minimum wage, I get it. You're not making much, even your time and a half isn't going to be much. But as far as what is budgeted for that and the amount of time it's going to take somebody else to fix those mistakes or those choices, I think it's not worth it. Now, if you see somebody do it, especially if somebody's above you doing it, I think that sets the tone. To me, that's a big reminder that you lead by example when you're in management. And if you're going to lead by example, then you need to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. If the manager is doing something wrong, it is going to be expected that everybody else is going to follow suit. It doesn't make it okay. I think that if I saw somebody, I think the stealing time one's one that would be especially difficult if you saw somebody doing on a very regular basis over the course of a year or 10 years, because it starts to feel like if everybody else is doing it, why not me? I could see myself falling into that trap. As far as the copies and the trash bags, I think I would just consider somebody else doing the wrong thing on those, and probably wouldn't follow suit as far as that goes. The situation where a friend puts you down as a reference but isn't a good fit, I think of my best friend who has worked in retail, who I've worked with when we were in college together, and I think about how if she put me down for a reference and it was a job that I knew she wasn't a good fit for, what I would say. And honestly, if it's a really close friend, I'm probably going to tell them that's not a good fit for you and try to help them find the other option. For that kind of in the middle friend, I would probably, when called for the reference, would try to highlight the positive attributes without necessarily bringing them down. I wouldn't lie, but I'd probably say, well, this is a strength. And if they asked me about something else as a strength, I'd probably honestly try to deflect it. I wouldn't want to bring somebody's reputation and character down by talking bad about them, but I also would want to be honest since that's coming back on me. And an instance where my actions were questioned by something that I did, this one I had to think about for a little while and think about what really sticks out in my mind. And being in early childhood, a lot of it comes down to interactions with young children. And there are some times that I can think of back in my career, some long ago, some not so long ago, where I've kind of lost my cool with a child, and I've probably said something more harshly than I meant to. And so those are things where, is it illegal to yell at a child? No, it's not. Is that what I'm here to do? And is that the best version of myself? No, it's not. So I try to look back at those opportunities as things to remember what sent me to that place and how can I avoid that and how to keep a better check of myself. And even in dealing with other co-teachers, there have been times that I've said things and lost my cool and lost my temper and vented to them or about them in a way that I probably shouldn't have. So for me, the kind of questionable ethics come down to, am I really being my best? And was that the best way to handle a situation? So this was a very interesting list of topics to think about, and I really enjoyed the challenge of it. Thank you.